Hi everyone, this is Mai Vu, your hot love coach. So glad to be back here today. This is a continuation of my Bold, Brave Woman series on understanding men, understanding love. Tonight, I'm actually going to be talking directly about understanding men. So I'm excited to be here. Welcome to Oh, good. Look at all these people coming on with Facebook Live and everything. Let me see who else in here that I need. I'm broadcasting on both ends. So forgive me if I'm looking like at different places. I have Facebook Live going and I also have a Zoom going at the same time. So let's talk about understanding men. So much fun. This is one of the most popular topics that I do everywhere I go and speak. And when I say I speak on understanding men and understanding love, people say, sign me up, I want to be there. And I think there's an addiction, no, just a true desire to understand men. And for both men and women, the men would joke and say to me, you know, I want to come, I want to understand myself. And the woman would say, oh my gosh, you know, it's about time somebody talk about this so that I have so many questions. So just so you know what to expect, I'm going to go deeper into the content that I have for you tonight about understanding men. You'll understand, you know, what's the problem between men and women, and then also when men do certain things, what does that mean? And aside from that, I'm going to stay at the end so that if you have questions, I will be more than happy to take your question and answers. And before this, I had done a little survey. So I had a bunch of women send in their questions. So I'll be addressing those at the end of the talk today too. Okay. All right. So let's see. My name is Mai Vu, and I work with bold, brave women around the world to help them do two things. I help them build their love life, and I help them build their business, taking their business to the next level. And most of the coaches and healers that I work with, they need to get to the first level of success, which is making $10,000 a month consistently, repeatedly, easily, effortlessly. And if you are not doing that, you're not going to have the money to sustain yourself, and life is always hard. But once you hit that first level of success, then you start to have what I call blood in your body, and then you can start to build more things on top of that. And on the other side, most business coaches don't know how to deal with the love part, the relationship part. And the love and the relationship part is what really is the essence underneath it. When a woman is well loved and cared for, and she is building her business or her career, she is going to grow younger and more vibrant. When she is doing it all by herself in her own little world with her cats and her children and all this stuff, she actually gets more and more depleted and older and angrier and grumpier. So having the love and support is really important for you to have if you're up to big things in the world. And of course, it's just so much nicer to do that. But in order for us women to have that love and support, we have to understand men, both in the dating phase and in the relationship phase with them, and also at the end when we're done with the relationship with them. So a lot of us find it very challenging to face the man in the dating phase. So I will talk about that too. I have an understanding men story that I like to go and talk about because it does capture a lot of this. Here we go. So rewind the clock about last year on January 1st, where I was, where it was January 1st, we were expecting a party. And people were going to arrive around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here in this kitchen, actually, with my sweetheart, Keith. And those of you who've met Keith or know about him, he's adorable and he will do anything for me. And he loves, adores, and cherishes me. So we finished breakfast and he leapt off the stool and he run over to the sink, wash his dishes really quickly, reach down and grab the Windex bottle. And I'm like, where are you going, honey? What are you doing? And he said, I'm going to go outside and clean all the windows. And then when I'm done, I'm going to come in here and clean that spot on the ceiling. And I'm like, in my head, I just went, WTF? What the fuck do you need to clean that spot on the ceiling for? Who's going to look at that spot? And who cares if the windows are clean when we have, you know, a lot of dishes to clean up. We have toilets to clean. We have newspaper and pile of bills and all that stuff to put away. You know, the whole normal living life things that we have to clean the house. And it was oblivious to him. And yet he was so proud, you know, and I was dumbfounded. And in that moment, I was thrown back like 7 years before that. No, actually 13 years before that. I was in a different kitchen, in a different town, in a different house with a different man. It was my husband at that time. And we were doing 4th of July party. And he too was grabbing a bottle of Windex, and he said, I'm going to go outside way in the backyard and I'm going to clean up those pile of weeds out there that's been there for years, right? And then when I'm done, I'm going to come in and clean all the windows, the outside of the windows. And I'm like, why? That's insane. You know, I need you to do this and that and all that stuff. I was so upset because I felt so pressure. I was cooking for everyone and I had tons and tons of stuff to do. And he was going to go clean the freaking windows. Like, what? Anyway, so I don't know. When it comes to men, I say, what the fuck a lot. So he goes, and it didn't go well. In that kitchen, we ended up in a fight. And in this kitchen, you know, 13 years later, I didn't want it to end in a fight because I knew better, right? I already destroyed one marriage, one divorce paper. Do I need to do that again? So I knew to respond differently this time. And so, and I'll pause there and I'll come back to how I responded to him. But it really got me thinking about how different men and women are. And obviously this is not about me and my husband or me and my boyfriend. It is something that we just are so different. So how can we work with each other so that we don't kill each other, so that we don't, you know, cut each other's down at the knees and destroy any love that we have toward each other? And that's, I think, is, you know, when you're dating or thinking about dating, just the thought of understanding men and what they do and how they respond to you on the online stuff is already so confusing, right? You're sitting there in your own house, you're guessing. But then let's say you got really lucky and you found a guy and then he likes you and you like him and then you move in together. And then living with them is also another cray-cray things to do. So it never stops. So understanding men require us to continuously working on this. And this is why I call it a spiritual journey. Being with another person is a spiritual journey. So let's go to let's dive a little deeper and see what's wrong. Why is this happening to us? You know, because I know that all of us, we dream of, you know, we wonder if one day we'll be with a man of our dream. Is it possible? Wouldn't it be so nice if I meet a guy who's handsome, who's strong, who's got a lot of life in him, who is generous and loving, and who sees me and his eyes lit up, his heart lit up, and he wants to pursue me and be with me, and I want him to pursue me, and then together, you know, everything just flow, everything is easy, and we live happily ever after, just like the story tale, or the fairy tale. So why is that so hard? Why can't we have that? And why is it that most relationship, when you start out in the beginning, it's really hot and heavy and fun, but at the end it's oh my God, I can't get out of it fast enough. And some people, you know, like get out of it, almost lose their life just to get out of it. So it's so puzzling what we do to each other and to ourselves in a relationship that could end up here it is two really good people end up, bad. Or if you have this tendency of attracting men who are cheaters or liars to you, and treat you badly or abandon you, there's a reason for all of these things. And for those of you who are part of this series, you probably was on the call 2 days ago on Tuesday. That one was how to date again, right? And so there's so much to do and so much rebuilding in here so that you can really build the new love for your life. So let me go a little deeper again and look at what are some old pain that in relationship that we get caught up into. So some of the pains that happens are being right and versus wrong. How often do you get caught in these conversations where you're right and he's wrong? How many people relate to this? And then the other thing that's really crazy, and this happened to me and my ex-husband at the end of our 18 years together, was no matter how hard we try, we end up feeling like you don't understand me, you don't see me, and you don't appreciate me. And he felt the same way. He felt like I didn't understand him, I don't see him, and I didn't appreciate him. And it was so painful because we both love each other so much and we really did want it to work, but somehow we ended up there. And then hurt and anger and resentment and rebellion happens, and I'm out of here, like I don't want it. And then we look to our partner to solve these pains. We all have these pains inside us, and yet it passed down from our relationship to our father, to our mother, and into our romantic relationships. So it's just not fun. And a lot of women, especially if you consider yourself a bold and brave woman, a lot of women end up becoming really independent, shut out the whole dating arena so that they can just focus on work, so that they can focus on their children, because they found men to be unreliable, and they rather just excel. And without the man component, a lot of women find that they can build their wealth and keep it. They know what to do with themselves. They don't have a man to put them down or to put restriction on them. So it's so painful that this is something that we really want, and yet when we have it, or when we think about having it, we really just always feel like, oh my gosh, I would have to give up my freedom in order to have the love of the man that I want. So sad. So one of my favorite quote, and I don't really remember, I have this crazy thing that my brain doesn't remember quotes or people who quoted them, but this one is a simple one that I really love, and it's from Rumi, and it says, "There's a field beyond right and wrong. I'll meet you there." So how can we understand each other enough so that we can meet each other in a field that's beyond right and wrong, right? Is that what we all want and hope for, is to be able to understand, appreciate, and fall madly in love with each other as we grow older together, versus falling out of love with each other as we grow older together. When it comes to dating, a lot of women think that the solution is about finding the right man. Who has think that way? Feel free to make a little comment so I know that you're still out there listening. It's like, do you think that the problem is you haven't found him? I'm here to tell you that that's not the problem. It's not that men, really good men, all around us, but a lot of times we cannot see them, we cannot recognize them, and even if they try to come in, we don't even recognize the signal that they're trying to get in. But you sit there day and night combing through all these dating websites, reading through all these crazy messages and dick pic pictures that people send you, and wonder, am I going to find them in this haystack? And if you if you have one and then you try to keep them, you're like, oh my gosh, how is this going to be easy? But it's not hot anymore, or you have to compromise certain things to make it hotter, and you're frustrated and you don't know how to ask for what you want, and then you end up being all alone. And when my marriage broke up, I needed shelter somewhere, and I found this cool little fourplex that I still have. I don't live there as much anymore. I live up here with my partner, but in this fourplex, it's good for like 1 or 2 people living max. And guess what? Each one of these complex is occupied by one single woman, dedicated to a lifetime of loneliness. It's so sad. I've been trying to like get them to come out and play with me. You know, I don't even could even get them to come to my event or watch this so that they could see that, oh my gosh, there's options for me. It's like they've just resigned. They just resigned to a life of loneliness, of good enough. I'm peaceful. I don't need to be disturbed. Don't bother me. And it doesn't have to be that way. Love for you is right in front of you. If you know how to work with yourself, if you understand yourself, and if you understand men. So what are the solution? You're going to want to write this down. Ready? Get your pen out. It's not about finding men. It's about cultivating. So cultivating is a big concept, and I need at least about 2 days to teach it to you. But for this class, I'd like to just summarize it into the next few points, okay? So first, in order to cultivate, you do need to understand men better. And before you can truly understand men better, you need to understand yourself. And this is where it gets tricky. If you're like most women, you try to find a man or a partner and build a relationship from these quicksand places. And I call them quicksand places. What are they? Quicksand places. And why quicksand? It looks stable, but until you stand on it, you just start sinking slowly. Not even fast, slowly. And some women don't even know that they're in quicksands, and then you end up, stuck in there for a long time. And I joke about this, but I don't think it's really just a joke. I think there's a lot of truth about this. One way that you know you're in quicksand is how many cats you have. I know. Did I just say how many cats you have? So take an inventory. Do you have 1 cat, 2 cats, 3 cats? Are you up to 4? Oh my gosh. So let me just say that if you have 4 cats, it's almost impossible for you to let a man in, because you are now devoting yourself to you and a life with cats. And then you start accumulating. From 4 to 7, it's very fast. If you have 1 cat, there's still room. There's lots of room here for you to play with. 2 to 3 cats, you're starting to have a lot of responsibilities, and you're starting to use your cats to hide behind. Oh my God, cat dating psychology. Can you believe it? I've been trying to figure out how to make a quote tiles or something clever for Facebook around this thing. But honestly, and all of this because of these 3 things. First of all, deep down inside, you're run by fear that you're not good enough. And you have guilt that you haven't done enough in the past, or you're not enough right now as a woman. So it has you walk on eggshells, trying to please everyone despite how hard you work. And then you feel like you have to do everything yourself so that you can get it done right. I know you might be thinking, but May, your kitchen story, see, you have to do it all by yourself because, living with men, they go and clean windows and ceilings instead of really the real thing to do. Don't make that judgment. But really, underneath it, it's because you don't think you're worth it. So you refuse to help. You refuse to let men in. And whatever condition you're in. I mean, women use these as deficit. Like, I've talked to women where they're like, well, I have a kid, as if like it's a deficit. Or, oh, I'm sick, or I have some weird autoimmune system disorder, so I can't even be around men. It's actually the reverse, honey. If you have some kind of strange bodily illness, it's not because because of that you can't have the man. It's because you can't let love in, and you're so angry with yourself that you actually have created, this is like your anger and your disappointment with yourself eating yourself up. So this is so why it's so important when women come and work with me. The first thing I do with them is to help them heal their broken heart, heal their crazy mind who thinks, who do not trust their men, who do not trust the world, who do not trust that they're seen and loved, who do not trust women. Like we have so many layers, you know, and so many excuses to not trust people and not let love in. And then we end up hurting ourselves and being in pain. And then we physically can't do it. It's so sad. And the way out really is to learn to say yes again, to say yes and let love in, and to learn to trust. But first you need a community to incubate you, right? Because right now, if you're not trusting and you just fling out there and let the whole world, you know, I trust you. May said I should trust. I'm like, no, I didn't say that. I said, let love in and let yourself be loved. So that way, and it's not just men, it's your community, me, my community of women. Like we are now trained to love and care for women. So when I take in a new client and they enter my community, they're blown away by the level of support from these strange women that's internationally based. You know, most people haven't even met each other in person, but they can feel it. And then they come on a video class like this with me and other women. They see each other and they start to understand that, oh my gosh, there's so much more to heal than they realize. And the healing process must be gentle. It cannot be harsh. A lot of times when women try to heal themselves by themselves, they're really harsh. In their head, they're like, you should, you better, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you there yet? Geez, you're 50 years old, or you're 45, or whatever the number is, and when you're doing this again, why can't you get this straight? It's so painful. Okay, so that's why when you work inside a community, we can see you and we can say, hi, I see you, and I see you being really harsh on yourself. Let me love you. Let me show you what loving you as is look like. From that place, then you could start to like trust women, trust community. And from there, you'll start to see that suddenly it's like, this happens all the time, every time. The women always report after like about 2 months or 3 months working with me, they're like, I'm starting to see a lot of good men around. The guys are really nice to me lately. Oh my gosh, so-and-so offered to build my fence for me and my kids, or so-and-so offered to take me to the hospital, and he was just shocked that I was trying to do it by myself. And they are just blown away. And I'm like, honey, this is your new normal. This is not strange. This is how life is. Everywhere we go, men are lining up, wanting to love us and to take care of us. But we don't realize that. We just look at them like from this lens of, they want something from me. They want sex from me. They want this from me. They want that from me. They want money from me. And it's not true. It's not true. And if it is true for you, it's because there's something going on inside you that you keep attracting that. Make sense? And I see this, like I said, you know, I have been a coach for 24 years. I have trained over 1,000 life coaches. I personally have served and support and taught and helped over 1,000 clients to build their what I call hot life with hot love and a hot business too. And when I say hot, I mean HOT. H stands for healed. First thing first, you gotta heal. And then second is open. Open to the invitation of love again. Open to receive. Open to my invitation. I mean, for some of you, you've been here for several classes now, and you probably came out to see me talk and all that stuff. That tells me that you really are hungry for this and you really want this. And so keep going, keep coming, and keep staying in, keep receiving, so that you could start to heal yourself. And the T stands for trust. Learn to trust again. And the first place to trust is not them. This happened. I answered this on Tuesday, and I'm going to repeat this again. How do I know if I can trust a man? Well, first, honey, you got to trust yourself. Most women don't trust themselves, but they look outside to the men and then they're like, can I trust him? Can I trust him? How about him? Oh God, he just lied to me. I don't trust men. And really what you're saying is underneath that is you don't trust yourself. Because if you truly trust yourself, you wouldn't attract men like that. And if you do, you'll pick it up right away. Your intuition, your guides, your deep gut sense is guiding you all the time. But you're so used to suppressing all of that. So that's how come you end up not trusting yourself and then looking outward, scared to death and trying to trust anybody that comes into your life. And you don't know why this keep happening. So if you see a pattern of men showing up and they're not trustworthy, the first place to ask yourself is, where don't I trust myself? Where don't I trust myself? And in my 2-day event, I go deeper into this and I walk you through step by step so that you can understand how trust works. Okay? All right, so let's see. Let me just slow this one down. Okay, the second thing that we do, so the first thing was you deep down inside you run by this fear and guilt that you're not good enough, you haven't done enough, so you walk on eggshells and all that stuff, right? And so the second thing that you do that speak to that trusting is that you say yes to things you should say no to, and you say no to things you should say yes to. Let me repeat that. You say yes to things you should say no to, and you say no to things you should say yes to. Right? So you say yes to things out of obligation and guilt. You put everyone else first and yourself last, which further exhausts yourself and lowers your vibration, increase your fears, and yet you're really, really stuck and overwhelmed. And then you say no. You say no to getting support because that makes you look weak, because that makes you look weird, because that sets you, that draws too much attention. And you're putting yourself, you say no to putting yourself first because it makes you look like you're selfish. And you say no to investing money on yourself. And you say no to your happiness because someone else's needs always override your own. Oh my gosh. Can you see how that is so related to an autoimmune disorder or a cancer or something? Like you can feel the energy of that. So you leave yourself hang dry with low self-esteem, loneliness, and you treat yourself poorly or even badly. And yet the irony is this: you want to find a man who will see through all of your crap and treat you like a queen. Hello. Well, I have bad news for you. People will treat you how you treat yourself. If you treat yourself like a hardworking, unworthy, what I call peasant, then they will also treat you the same way. And even if they don't, even if they try to treat you well, and run after you and love and care for you. Can I get you a pillow? Can I make you some soup? You will either find ways to reject them, like, well, he's not right, or I'm just not attracted to him. I don't see a future in him. I don't know, as if like attracted to him really weighs a lot. You know what attraction really means? I'm going to take a little detour here. Attraction simply means your hormone, this thing that this chemical that's released in here is saying, ooh, I possibly could make babies with him. You resort down to being a pure animal instinct and you're just looking for the mate to procreate with. That's not what you're looking for right now. If you're here watching with me, you already are a full-grown woman. You probably already have kids or, don't want kids anymore. And you probably have built a life or a career or something that, you're a grown woman. So you're not looking to procreate. You're looking for a partner, a life partner to be with you and to travel the world and possibly even to do something meaningful together. I know that all of my clients, they hunger for a partner to make a difference in the world with. They hunger not just to have fun road trips and go travel and see the world together, but they hunger to do work in the world together. And so if you're just crossing a man out because you're not attracted to him, it's so wrong, because attraction grow over time. If you're just attracted to the look in the beginning, that is not a way to base a man. That is not something trustworthy to build a relationship on. But you pick someone that you're not that attracted to, but you get to know him and his heart, and he gets to know you and your heart. Oh my God, you guys become so much more attractive to each other. That's real. That's good stuff. Okay? All right. I lost my track. I go off on these things. Okay. So if you don't have the capacity to let love in, and if you find yourself saying no to things because of your cat, or because of your physical condition, or because of your work, those are red flag sign that said, bling, ding, ding. You are shut down to love. It's not your circumstance that dictate this. It's actually your brain that is saying, I am not open to love. Don't believe that your work is too much, because I have seen women, with more... with so much work and so much responsibility and when they finally let love in, everything fits. Everything always fits. You put the big things in first, and if your big thing is having the love and support, it will fit. And then the next smaller thing is like maybe your career or your business, that will fit. And then your children have the right order. So you actually are lacking the capacity and know how to receive love and to sustain good things in life. Let me repeat this. Women fall through the cracks from these three places. Either you don't let love in, so you're so shut down, you're not letting love in. Or if you know how to let love in, you don't know how to really receive it and let it in. Like you can see it, but then you can't let it in. I got myself confused there. So first, we don't even see it. So that's the first thing. It's like, oh, I don't see it. There's no good men around. This is what I hear all the time. There's no good men around. And then if you start to see them, then it's like, okay, can you receive them and let them in? And then once you let them in, can you sustain it? Can you sustain the hot life, the hot love? So when we are short on one of these three things, it wrecks all the efforts that you have put into finding love for yourself. Okay? So now for some good news, and it's what you came here for. Understanding men. Because of lack of time, I have like a whole long list of things about men that I want you to know. But I'm going to give you two. If I have time, I'll give you three. The biggest secrets that you must know about men. Okay, and I'll save the other 7 or 8 for the weekend. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about men is that men want to love, adore, and cherish you. I know it may be hard for you to let that in, but they do. I grew up with my mother, my Asian Catholic mother, grew up with her telling me that there are 2 kinds of men out there. Half of them are drunk and the other half are rapists. So I should always stay home, cross my leg, don't have anything to do with men, and one day I'll meet Mr. Right and marry him and don't look back. Can you see a little flaws in her teaching to me? I was petrified of men. And then I grew up with a father who hit me for everything I did. Tiny little thing. I did a math problem wrong, smack. I spilled food at the restaurant, smack. On top of, and oh God, this was the worst one. I went to school, and if I fall down, playing hopscotch or jumping rope, and if I fell down and scraped my knees, I go home and he would hit me on my knees and my elbows where it hurts the most, where the wound was open and bleeding. Why? Because he learned it from his crazy mother. Anyway, so I grew up fearful of my father, petrified of men, did not date at all, being a good Catholic girl, I only dated one guy, and then I pursue him and convince him to marry me and convince him that I'm the one, and that's it. Oh my God. So for me to sit here to tell you that I know that deep in my heart that most men want to love, adore, and cherish us or you, took a lot of work, a lot of internal work, a lot of experimentation, a lot of healing to heal all of those wounds that I learned from my mom and dad, so that I can be here and I can actually vouch for men. Now, we can't let them run, amok in our life. You have to know who you are and where your boundaries are. And when you are clear with that, you will draw in men after men after men who just want to adore, cherish, and love you and make you happy. Whether it's your friend or your lovers or your partners or your business partner or your clients, they all just want to make you happy. And I gave this talk at an event last month, and one of the men in the room caught me at break and said to me, I recently broke up with my girlfriend of 7 years, and I could not put to words what was so difficult between us. But now, hearing your talk, I get it. All I wanted to do was to love, adore, and cherish her, but she would not let me. And it was so painful between us, and after 7 years, we had to let it go. So that he's not alone, by the way. I hear this all the time. I get men who are husbands who, sneak on Amazon. Husband of my client, they get on Amazon. They know my book is on there, The Divorced Mom's Guide to Dating. And they would read the chapters on there, the free chapter on there, and then they'll download it. They get the Kindle version so that they can read it, because it really speaks to them, and it speaks to the pain that they've had in their relationship with their wife, because she didn't let him love her either, take care of her. But once they become my clients and then they start to learn how to let love in, oh my gosh, the husband is so grateful. They're still, on Facebook, they still watch over me like an angel. And whenever I'm down, these husbands are right there to cheer me up. They are there to pick me up from different airports, with their wives and all that stuff. It's just really fascinating to see. So that I promise you that there is so much truth to what I say about men want to love, adore, and cherish us in any capacity. The trouble is that when we are bitter, angry, and suspicious of men, we have a high bar, and we're like, oh yeah, you say that, let me see. I want to know how they do that. Oh, and then we grade them and we judge them and we cut them at the knees, and we don't let them love, adore us at their capacity. So everybody has different capacity. Let them do it to their best ability. And when they do that, they will surpass themselves and keep rising for you. Make sense? Okay. The other thing is men wants to be your hero. All along the same line. This is also really hard, because when I was married to my ex-husband, this concept kind of flew by, and I kind of like, oh, good God, I'm so tired, and I'm sick and tired of having to stroke men and make them feel good. I'm like, why can't they just like stroke themselves? They do. Anyway, they just want to be our hero, and all they need is just a little appreciation, a little text that said, you're so awesome, you're so hot, you're a rock star, you're my hero. And when you give them that, they just rise into it more, and you can see the capes getting bigger and bigger behind them. Before you know, they'll be taken off like Superman, and so can you. There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. So don't be a hero killer. Don't be a hero killers. Most of the time, we women are hero killers with one look, one sigh, one eye roll, one flip of the head. You know how we can do that, right? We will kill them without even say a word. And boy, let me tell you, when I do my quick eye rolling and jaw dropping behind his back, and he said he was going to clean that spot on the ceiling, and what the fuck, that's bad, right? So I knew no matter how right I was, like that spot on the ceiling, no one's going to see. I have to respond differently. And so this is how I did it. I learned this from actually a really lovely woman. Her name is Shannon. She's actually was my previous set of coaches, Mark and Shannon. They're in town, so if you see them, I'm one of their success cases. So Shannon has this way of saying, "Okay, great." Everything you say to her, she always said, "Okay, great." And I love it. And I study that, and I watched her, and I see the result of okay, great. So I now have adopted the okay, great principle from Shannon Law. Okay. So when my sweetheart said, "I'm going to clean that spot on the ceiling," as ridiculous as that sounds to me, I said, "Okay, great." Thank you. Because who am I to say that's not great? And what's wrong with that, right? And when I say, okay, great, I'm really not talking to him. I'm actually talking to me. I'm letting my brain know that it's okay and it's great. It's okay and it's great. And I'm giving myself time to calm down and not go to the right place, or go to the right place and come back. Like go to the field beyond right and wrong. That's how I get out of that field of right and wrong, is I go, okay, great. It's a field of acceptance. Okay, everything's okay. Everything's great. And then I say, thank you. And when I say thank you, I command my brain to look for something to be thankful about. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for cleaning. Thank you for being so enthusiastic about it. All of that all adds up. So, okay, great. Thank you. And it gives my brain some time to find peace and quiet. That's really the work, is to tend to myself so that I can respond appropriately. And then I get to say, and when you're done with that, will you please do the dishes? Or when you're done with that, will you please, clean the toilets? And of course he goes, well, yeah, of course, I'll do that. And then it's easy. So that is my okay, great, very simple technology, but it works every time, everywhere, for everyone, even with women, even with your daughter or your children, even with your dogs. Try that, and your cat. So during my 2-day event, I will teach you many more techniques and all that stuff to deal with men, to handle all of men's craziness up and down and everything and all their unknowns. But for now, that's plenty. Oh, did you know about next class, the bonus class? So the bonus class is on Saturday at, I believe, at noon Pacific. And I'm going to talk about how to deal with men's incessant needs for sex. Men's incessant needs for sex. And this is such a good topic, so I can't wait to dive into that with you. So if you love what I have to say and you resonated with me, and really come to my 2-day event. I'm going to do one in August 19th and 20th here in the Bay Area, and then one in Florida on November 19th and 20th. So if you don't want to wait until November, fly out here. And if you're in Florida, sign up for that, and you can sign up for that tonight so that you don't forget, and book it in your calendar. You're going to get 2 full days of understanding men, understanding yourself, and learning how to cultivate your own very hot life and hot love, plus a hot business too. I'm going to reserve a chunk of time to show you the step-by-step way to build your business. And I believe next week I'm going to do a 3-part series on how to take your business to 10K a month. So that way we're covering both side of the equation. The event itself is valued at $2,500, but I want to make it really, really affordable and accessible to everyone. So $2,500, even with that, if all that you get from the weekend event is one tool that will help cut down all the bullshit from your dating with men, would that be worth it to you? Or if all it does is to help you feel more confident in yourself and started loving yourself so that your body stop hurting and cure whatever illnesses that you have, would that be worth it? Every illnesses out there is tied to an emotional problem. And the biggest emotional problem is you don't know how to love yourself, and you're too harsh on yourself. So you're burning yourself down to nothing. And like I said earlier, whatever that you're going on is because you're so angry and so pissed off at yourself and so disappointed. I think that disappointment is really insidious, so disappointed in yourself, so hurt, so lonely that your body is breaking down. So if that's all it does is to help heal you, would that be worth it? And I know it's going to do so much more for you. So in the spirit of making it very affordable for you, tonight I'm offering at half price. So you get 2 days plus a Saturday night banquet to celebrate the born woman in you for $249. Super fun, super easy, and at $249 you also will get the Saturday and Sunday meals plus the banquet dinner. So all of that is just to cover my costs. I'm not making any money out of that, just to cover my costs and make it very available to anyone who wants to come. So I guarantee my result. If you come on Saturday and you find that you can't come back on Sunday, or you're too tired, or you are not getting what you want, I will be glad to give you your money back. No question asked. All is fine. And at least you get a full day of knowledge and teaching to help you with your life. Easy peasy, right? I know. If I may take a little time to share with you my participant, Anne. Anne came to my event, and for 2 days she just sat there with her arms crossed like this, and she didn't say anything. And once in a while I'd see a tear streak down on her cheek, and so I knew that she was working through some big stuff. So I interacted with her, but really pretty much let her be so that she could process through whatever that was going on for her. Anne went home, and I checked in with her 2 weeks later. Well, I checked in with her right away to make sure she was okay. And then I checked in with her 6 weeks later, and this is what she said to me. She said, May, after the 2 days with you, I went home that night on Sunday night, and I was clear that I was done with my marriage. That's it. I'm not taking his crap anymore. I want out. So I came home and I told him I want a divorce. But here's something interesting. On the way home, there was a car that followed her really closely. And I have to tell you, this is in Sweden even. So I go to Sweden and do my work quite often. And now, if you know anything about Swedish people and Swedish country, it's up north and it's cold, and the colder the country, the higher up north, the colder the countries are, and the colder things are, people actually are very reserved. They don't say hi on the street like Americans do, and they don't impose, and they don't wave, and they don't smile, because they're trained to be cold, right? So she said she was driving home, and this car was like following her really close. And then the guy was waving at her and trying to get her attention and try to get her to pull over, which is like super strange for a Swedish culture. I mean, it's strange for us here, and we would never stop, right? But after a while, she's like, okay, what is going on here? I have to stop and talk to him. So she stopped the car, and he came running out joyfully, and he gave her his business card, and he said, here's my calling card. And the reason why I stopped you is because you have this beauty in you that you were radiating, and I didn't know what it was, and I'm so curious, and I just want to tell you that. And if you feel compelled to have coffee with me, I would be delighted. But if not, no pressure. And it was so sweet. And she said to me, she said, you know, I took that as a sign of God to say that I deserve better than what I had with my husband. So I'm done. So she went home, and she told him that she wants a divorce, and that in 3 months she wants to sell the house, and they go their separate way. Interesting thing happened after that. Would you like to know? Oh my God, it's such an amazing story. He woke up. And first he was upset and victim-y, kicking, screaming, all this stuff, right? Of course. But then he started waking up, and he started doing therapy, getting himself a coach, and then he started to own his responsibilities to himself, to his life, and for this relationship. Well, they actually went through with the divorce, and they sold their house. However, he stayed close to her and her daughter, and he started just being a better man for her. And then he brought her flowers 6 months later, and then they started dating. And now she's really happy, and she's all that happened just because she came to my 2-day event. She didn't even, become a long-term client or anything like that. So that's what's available to you in this 2-day, is that it really literally will change your life and will give you very concrete information, things that you will take home and can apply, and that's easy, and your life will change. So if it's worth it to you to come, and if you have special needs or special requirement, let us know. We really want you to know what's it like to be loved, adored, and cherished. So we have a whole team, like all of my clients. It's a pay it forward system community. All of my clients at one time or another is just like you. They sit there and they were scared, they were angry, they were sad. They came because they felt really desperate and they didn't know what else to do. And so, but they noticed that, oh my gosh, there's a room full of women in the back supporting and loving them. And then they do work with us, and then they realize, oh my gosh, they are now healed and they're full. Their tank is filled up. So then they are now stepping up to hold a space for you and support you. So it's really a beautiful story of love on all different layers. So if you feel like if you identified as a bold, brave woman, independent, strong, you've had it with being on your own, and you really want to have love, money, and success in your life, come to the 2-day event. And you can sign up tonight, and I have some super yummy bonuses for you. So if you come, oh, there it is. So to register, Chris, can you put that also on the Facebook comment to bit.ly join Mai Vu? I'm pretty sure you already thought about that, and you'll probably go, done, of course, right? I have with me Dr. Christina Winsey, who is an amazing woman. She too is a bold and brave woman, and she is so in love with my work that she volunteers to well, not volunteer. She actually is on my team to help me, bring this work out to you all. So thank you so much, Chris, for being here. It's late in your world. She's on the East Coast time, so it's 10:22 already. So thank you for staying up late for us and to support us. You're amazing, and you really are showing everyone what's it like to be loved, adored, and cherished, even from that invisible way of being. So thank you for that. Okay, so anything else out there? Did I forget something? Oh, going through my checklist. Okay, so the bonuses. Yes, that's right. So I was sharing with you. So it's always fun to get bonuses, right? So first of all, you're going to get my book, The Divorced Mom's Guide to Dating, and you need to bring that to the event so I can sign it for you. And if you already have one copy, go get another one. You'll get another one. And then you can give that to your friends, your brother, your sisters, and your girlfriends, because even though it says The Divorced Mom's Guide to Dating, this book is a blueprint for all women. And men too, if they want a good relationship with women. It's such a powerful book, simply written just like me. I'm simple. I'm not fancy, all that stuff. But it hits you in the heart, and it's practical, and it will explain. First of all, it's going to explain what happened. What happened in your life? Why is it that you work so hard and you end up here, and that you're not in the place that you thought you should be at, which is to be loved, adored, and cherished, have this beautiful husband, have this beautiful home, have all these yummy securities and everything. How in the hell did you work so hard and end up, here? So that's the first thing that you need. And then the second bonus that you'll get is you'll get a one-on-one with me or one of my team. So if you want to have a 30 minutes with me, I'm going to amp up. Usually I give a coaching session with my team away, but tonight I just feel really called, and it's about men, and I know this hits us deep in the heart. So if you would like a session one-on-one with me, you can Facebook me now and say, I want it, and I'm coming to your event. I will gift you a 30-minute session with me. it's worth about $1,000. And I don't do that anymore because I'm so busy, especially with the event coming up. But I really, really want you to get going. I want you to start turning your life around and turn your life, your business, your love life all around so that you can have what I call a hot life with hot love and hot business. Okay. And then thirdly, I'm going to open my vault up to you. I have, oh my gosh, I'm so prolific. I read about Prince when he died, and they said, oh my God, he's so prolific. He has so many songs written and in his closet that hasn't even been published yet. I think when I die, people are going to say the same thing. Oh my gosh, I have so many videos, YouTube, and concepts and everything that I just create because I have this ability to understand human and how we work, and I love explaining what's there. So when you sign up, I will open my vault to you, and you're going to get surprise bonuses, and you're going to get interviews that I've had with women around the world on how they live their hot life with hot love. It's super inspiring. You'll get tips and tricks, all this stuff. So you'll be sick of getting stuff from me. But in a good way. All right, so those are my surprise bonuses, and all of this is valued more than $1,500. And so, you're getting the $2,500 event plus all these bonuses, over $3,500 worth of stuff for $249. And really, that's just to cover my costs. So if you think that you're worth it, or that you're done with being lonely and tired and alone, then please sign up and give yourself this gift so that I can help you. I cannot help you if all you do is watch these things and not come to my event, because when you come to my event, you're going to take it to the next level of healing. There's only so much I can do here, and as much as I can give, as much energy as possible. But when you have the community, when you have more guidance, when you have clarity, you have everything, then you have all the pieces to make it work. This is how come I can guarantee my work. When women work with me, I guarantee that they're going to see a certain amount of results, and they're typical results. They're not fancy results, so that you'll know for sure this is going to happen for you. And that, my friend, is very badass. Let me tell you, I don't know if there's any other coaches out there that could guarantee such things. So namaste. Have a wonderful evening, and I'm going to turn this now into a Q&A. So does anybody have any questions? And I'm also going to look at my my Bold Brave Women group and answer some of their questions for from my group. So by the way, if you're not a member of the Bold Brave Women Club on Facebook, please find it. It's called Bold Brave Women, and all you have to do is send me a little message to say, please, I'd like to join, and I will approve you and invite you in, and then you can listen and read other women's stories that are super inspiring and super hot. Okay, so here we go. Ready? The first question that I asked was this one is a popular one. How to connect with men in the first place? So the short answer to that is, if you are confident in yourself, you will connect with all the men in the world, from broke-ass men to millionaires. I can't tell you how easy it is for me to connect with men now when I have healed all of my insecurities and all of the wounds that I had from my dad and from my mom, and whatever wounds that I came into this planet with, self-worth issues, not good enough, all that stuff. So when you heal your inner stuff, you will be able to connect with anybody in the most deep and yummy and meaningful way. Just how it works. Second is, how do you handle men's resistance? This is part of the another understanding men thing that I'm going to talk about during my event, is that when men when you ask them something and they look like they're resisting you, they're actually not resisting you. They're actually thinking and trying to figure out how they can make your request happen. But we didn't know that, so we just see them, they grumble and all this stuff, and we think, oh, he doesn't love me. It's not that. and maybe it's just reached his capacity, maybe he's lazy, maybe whatever, but he's still thinking how to make it happen. And if you know how to inspire the king in him to come out, he will overcome his resistance and do anything for you. All right. And how do you revitalize the passion in your relationship? This one is a good one. Especially for women who are in long-term relationship. I know I was in one for 18 years and now I'm in this one for 10 years already. It is something. And to be honest, this one, you need my whole entire Saturday content to answer this question. So I'm just going to say, come to the event. I'm going to answer that question there. How to get them to commit. This one, the short answer, again, you need the longer version, but the short answer is this. Most of the time, if you find someone who's not committing to you, it's because you are afraid of commitment. And even if you're like chasing after him to commit, it's actually not really committing. It's actually more of a craving that you're satisfying, and you think that's committing, but it's actually not. So it's a little complex. This one is a harder one to answer like that, but I'm trying to cover all these things, okay? So ask me that some more later during the event so I can expand on that. And is he worth the investment? The big question is, are you worth the investment? And if you have to ask this question, let me see, is he worth the investment? I think there's a kind of question behind that. This is like, is he on a journey that you want to be a part of? Is he on a journey that you want to be a part of? Or are you on a journey that is so inspiring that he wants to be a part of? That's a much more healthier conversation to have, much more meaningful and much more respectful conversation to have between a man and you. Okay? What else? A signal that they are into you. Oh my gosh. And this one is asked from a beautiful woman. So this one's for you, Lisa. Lisa, all men are into you. Let me just tell you that. They're into you. They're inspired by you. They are fascinated by you. They think you're amazing. It's just that you're shut them out, so you don't realize that they're like looking to see if there's even a doorway to get in. So that one is particularly for Lisa. And to be honest, for all of us women, the answer is still the same. We are beautiful as is. Honestly, I look pretty when I come on here because I clean myself up, but normal every day I look like crap, just like you normal every day, right? But my guy loves me as is. So it's really not how we look or how skinny we are and all that good stuff. Yeah, it may help in the beginning, but shoot, if men are attracted to you because of all that, you're looking at the wrong men anyway. So they're constantly giving you signal that they're into you. It's just a matter of, are you available? Are you open to let some of that in or a lot of that in? Okay? All right, I'm getting tired. I think I answered all the questions and everything. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Good night. Take this information with you and process it. Sign up for the event. Join us on August 19th and 20th so that we can have a great time and start changing the outcome of what you're having. Namaste.